Welcome to The 11 with your hosts, JJ Pavlick of Bad Dog Sports and Anthony Merced of AJM Sports.
All right, hello, and welcome back to The 11. We are back here at Red Bull Arena. This is the third game, home game for the team. It feels like we haven't been here in a while, and it really feels that way because guess what? It's not raining for once.
I know, right? It's finally, we don't have the rain to deal with. Everything's looking good. Crowd's a decent size. Oh, yeah, and that Tom guy's back?
That is true. Tom Barlow, former striker for the New York Red Bulls, is back. He's on the bench for the Chicago Fire today in this game. Another guy on the bench for the New York Red Bulls that we have to mention is Sean Nealis. Sean Nealis, who really has been the anchor defensively for this team, is on the bench with a groin injury. So we are looking at Noah Isla and Andres Reyes as the pair today. I know you're a little bit weary of this. What are your thoughts about what to expect from these two together?
Columbus. Until he proves us wrong, Columbus is the standard for a Reyes-Noah combo. Chicago is dangerous in that the fact that they can't score. The problem Chicago has is they also cannot defend. Instead of my prediction during the podcast where I gave Chicago no goals, I might have to give them a couple now. I don't know.
I'm still sticking with my 2-1 prediction. While I do understand the concern, I do think one of the things about this is that the Fire, they can score goals, but they're not as deadly as Columbus. You know, Columbus really is the cream of the crop in MLS at this point, if you think about how the team is constructed. This also has to be the kind of win that Red Bulls need to get against a team that is worse than them, even when you're not at your best, to prove that they are the top team in the league.
I'm going to be a little bit of a devil advocate right now. You're calling Kubo dangerous? He obliterated Reyes the last time in Cincinnati.
I don't know if there's anyone on this.
Is Kubo really that dangerous?
I don't know if there's anyone on this Chicago team that is anywhere near that. I know you're going to say Shaqiri, but really Shaqiri is not what he used to be. I don't know if there's anyone that they have that is even on Kubo's level, if I'm being honest. This should be, I'm not saying that it's not going to happen, but this should be a win for the Red Bulls.
There's no lightning, right? Barlow?
What about him?
He's faster than Reyes.
It's if he plays. We
all know he's the human peg here at Red Bull Arena. The ball just magically finds his head in the back of the net somehow.
So are you saying that Reyes is gonna score? I'm not Reyes. I'm sorry. That Barlow is gonna score a goal in this game.
I hate to say this, but Tom Barlow will score on Andre Reyes tonight.
Oh, we're definitely gonna have something to talk about when this at the end of this game. Real quick though, we got to shift focus across the river. NYCFC are playing the New England Revolution. That is a must win for NYCFC. It's the race to the bottom, right? The loser of this game will be at the bottom of the Eastern Conference,
and the winner will be tied for that wild card.
Yeah. This is if there's ever been a must win early in the season, this is it here. Again, there have been no indications, so don't quote us in saying that, Nick Cushing's job is on the line. I've heard no indications of that. But if there was ever going to be a moment where the pressure would start mounting, this is the loss where you have to feel that's going to start happening.
You would think that, but then they're right where Troy Lesane and the Red Bull were last season.
Struber.
3 points out of the wild card. Struber was not 3 points out. He was a little bit more. But, yes, Struber wasn't far out, but Nick is right where Troy was last year at this time. 3 points out of the last spot.
Yeah, so we
all saw what happened there.
Yeah.
Not saying it's going to happen, but we never all expected Troy Lesane to pull out the literal, 97th minute penalty kick?
Which, converted by John Tolkien, got the New York Red Bulls into that last playoff spot. Eighth spot, so they hosted the wild card game. Yeah. The other story about NYCFC is their front line. Bakar's back up top. The number 9 is there. We've talked about this before. I don't see a lot of confidence in how he plays. Does it turn around?
I'm going to stick to my guns. What we saw at training I know it's only training. Yes, it's easier to score in training. There's just something about this New England game where I just have a feeling Baccarat's going to turn it around. Do I think he's going to do like Nick said, where he's going to run off and go win the Golden Boot? Possibly. No, and Nick did not say that Baccarat will go running around.
JJ said that.
I'm just saying, he did mention Castilla's got that goal and then won MLS boot. Does Baccarat do that? No. Do I think Baccarat is going to get that goal and finally get some goals? Yes. I just don't see him running off with like 40 after scoring it, though.
It's going to be very important for him to score goals and for NYCFC to get on that winning way. If they lose tonight, it is going to be a dire feeling in that locker room when it's over. So yeah, I mean, we've already said our predictions for both those matches before. You changed yours for this one. I'm sticking with my 2-1. Do you want to change anything for NYCFC?
No, I think Red Bull 6-2. NYCFC, I'm going to stick 3-1. Thank you, Alpha Tora and Daniel, for the hat. Appreciate it. And I guess I'll see you at F1 sometime. Now that I got to go.
Yes, and we will see you, fans, after this game. So stay tuned for some highlights.
Out.
We're not even really that close, to be honest. But yeah, it's just about trying to keep the standards, keep pushing, keep learning every single game, every single chance I get to play. But yeah, just we still have a long way to go. Not getting too far ahead of ourselves is the most important thing right now, and individually too, for sure.
Thanks, Anthony.
Peter, how do you feel about this time last year, a little bit more on the periphery on the bench? Now you seem to be becoming more and more of a week-to-week starter. How does it feel for your confidence, and how are you using that to stay motivated?
Yeah, it's weird. I think even last year I still always had confidence in myself. I always kind of still had that belief, even though maybe I wasn't playing as much. I always tried to stay ready whenever I got my number called last year. But yeah, I think, this year obviously getting a string of games, you can definitely get in some good rhythm, which is nice. Didn't really have that last year. I can only think of maybe once, but now, to get a good rhythm in, it feels good, and then I just want to, keep pushing, like I said, and keep getting better. You learn, especially as a young player, I think you learn from every single game, so right now it's just about learning everything I can so I can be better for the next game.
Next, go to Gustavo.
Hi Peter, just want to talk about this year. You're getting more minutes, you're getting into more rhythm and starting matches. Talk to me a little bit about your relationship with the coach, Sandro Schwartz, since he became the head coach for the Red Bulls.
Yeah, it's been good. Obviously, I think we had a new coach come in this year, and I think new style of play. Obviously, still similar to the Rebel identity, obviously, but certain tweaks. I think especially with the ball, and then I think the coach's ability to instill confidence in every single one of us. I think we have a lot of the same guys from last year. I just think it's the energy that's brought every single day, and the confidence he gives to the players, I think, has made a huge difference. I think guys are growing, even doesn't matter, if you're young or you're old. I still think every single player is growing, and you can see that growth under the new coach and the style of play we're playing right now. So I think the confidence he gives the players and the team is the most, thing that stands out on paper to me. And obviously, I think it's a more, enjoyable watch for the fans too, the way we're trying to play. And but obviously sticking to the Rebel identity still too.
Next, go to Voss.
How's it going? Just wanted to ask you, the Red Bulls are playing a good amount of teams that they had teams take points away from, guys like Inter Miami that you guys got to get the result back against, Cincinnati, and now it's going to be the Chicago Fire. Does that motivate the group at all, just trying to get one back on those teams that may have gotten one over on them last year?
No, for sure. I think we can remember all these games last year where we, we're in a playoff battle almost the whole year, and we dropped points, and the feeling, the day after when we come to recovery it's a really tough, environment to it's a tough feeling to show up, when the weekend result doesn't go right. It's a hard feeling, and I can remember when these guys beat us at home last year. That was specifically like a really, really tough one because I think it was late in the season and we needed points. So yeah, I think they're also another team that's trying to be great like us, and it's gonna be a really, really tough test. They with the moves they've made and the guys they have, it's gonna be a really, really tough challenge. But we're trying to do everything we can to prepare and get ready so we can come out flying.
Hey everyone, we have time for 2 more questions. Peter, we'll go to Anthony, and then we'll finish up with Christian.
Peter, we've heard in the past coaches, they watch a lot of tape on the upcoming teams. Your style of preparation, do you watch any tape? So have you watched anything on Chicago, or are you really more focused on your game?
Yeah, I think we have a pretty good balance. I think we do watch the other team, and try and figure out, analyze their typical behaviors, what they try and do. But we do realize in the end, we can control the game with our style of play if we're doing it at the right level and everyone's bought in. So yeah, as much as you study these other teams, in the end it all comes down to the day. Especially in this league, there's no real big difference between any team. Anyone can beat anyone on a day. So I think it just comes down to who shows up on the day, who wants it more, and who's sticking to their styles and principles better. And I think that's what we believe in for sure.
Thanks. And we'll finish up with Christian.
Hey, good afternoon, Peter. Just wanted to ask you your emotions going back to Red Bull Arena. Finally, seems like ages, and being undefeated at home.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's always so nice to play at home. I mean, the past 2 games have been brutal with the weather. I think there's not going to be rain this weekend, I'm hoping. No rain, so that's huge. But it's just nice to be home. I think the fans, they give you extra energy. They give you an extra push, and especially in our style, it can, make the players and everyone want to be more aggressive, and we need that in our system. And, we want to make Red Bull Arena a tough place to come to, and our first 2 games we were able to do that, and we have a really tough.
Red Bulls media availability to preview the New York Red Bulls match against Chicago Fire FC on Saturday. We're joined by New York Red Bulls head coach Sandro Schwartz. As always, use the raise hand function. I'll call you, ask coach a question. First thing I saw was Mark. Mark, when I start recording, the floor is yours.
Recording in progress.
Coach, after such a big, I think it was an emotional win last week. Yeah. Vaulting you guys to the top of the East, but really sending a message, I think, to the rest of the league that the Red Bulls are a team to watch for this season. Now you're playing a Chicago team that has really kind of struggled this year. I'm just curious about maintaining the level of intensity, even though the opponent may not be as proficient.
Yeah, but this is for us the key for Saturday to have the same energy, the same level, and also in our quality, in our defense behavior, in our offense also, like we had in the last game, especially in Cincinnati. And this is the main task for us on Saturday, that we have the same feeling, another opponent, so another also then maybe another space for us in our ball position, and also they play with back 4 most of the time in our defense behavior, in our pressing behavior. So a little bit different in our solutions now in ball position and our pressing, but not to lose the energy, not to lose the focus. This is very important now also for Saturday in our home stadium with our supporters. So this is the main task.
Next one, Anthony.
Coach, we've seen a bit of a combination switch on defense. Sometimes Sean and Noah, sometimes Sean and Reyes. Are you comfortable with both of those matchups, and is there a reason that we've seen Reyes a little bit more the last few weeks?
Andres played then also very well. I think his first game was in Columbus, and then after Columbus we played at home Inter Miami, then in Orlando. So his performance was very well in these games, and so then I have, as the head coach, no reason then to change something. And now new situation now also for Saturday against Chicago, a new opponent then. So then we have to decide which combination is the best in our structure then for Saturday. But we have a high quality in our roster, especially and also on this position with our center backs. This is what we need. This is what we say the whole time. And so then we have to take the decision now for Saturday. Which centre back, Jean Niels, he had some problems now the trainings week, and so we will see now how he works tomorrow in our pre-match training, and then we will make the decision.
Next, we go to Gary Redman on Zoom.
Good afternoon, Coach. You talked about a couple of times about your team worried about being so passive late, trying to close out games. Is that still a concern, or that's something that's still worked out in the last couple of games including training?
That we are in some situation too passive?
At the end of games,
yeah.
Trying to protect leads.
Yeah, but this is I think it's difficult to compare the games, especially now the last two games in Orlando and also now in Cincinnati. I think it's a little bit different. In Orlando, we were, especially after these chances where we can score the second goal, at this moment and till the end, the last 10-12 minutes, we were in a lot of situations too passive, and then also Orlando could create some situations with crossing on the side. And now in Cincinnati was a little bit different, so the opponent is also very, very good, and with their all offense players, and especially at the end. So then we have to defend very compact, very well, and but we have to play dominant, and this is the next step now. Then to have this dominant phase 80-90% of the game. So this is what we have to improve for sure. Especially then also that when we have the result 2-1, 1-0, 3-2, something like that. So, but then to continue our style, and that we have the chance then also to score more goals.
Next, we go to Daniel Feuerstein on Zoom.
Good afternoon, Sandra. Hope you're well. Talking about this next matchup against Chicago, how are you going to have to defend against top players like Kellen Acosta as well as Shaqiri? How dangerous they are with the ball, especially with Acosta during set pieces, how he delivers them. What's important to stop those two?
Yeah, as a team, as the whole team, this is important that we defend with the whole team and not only one or two or only the back four. So we have to defend, and it starts then in our pressing. How we can make the pressure then on their center backs in their build-up situation. It starts then in our first line with our strikers, how we attack, and and to be very compact. And in this, when we are compact, then to defend forward, then it's a good situation to defend forward and to secure then also the space, but all together, chase all together, or then if they solve situations in our pressing, then to drop back with our center backs, with our full backs. This is what we have to do, and to be very concentrate in set pieces, in defense, but also to have the focus and the confidence in our offense set pieces.
Next, we'll go back to Anthony.
Coach, Dante looked very confident in his goal, and that second goal was something that was missing a lot last year. Does the team feel really confident after a game like that they can go out there and get that second goal now moving forward?
Yeah, and you can feel and see it also in the training session and how he works. Also before the game in Cincinnati, and with this 4 assists in the home game against Miami, and for sure this is necessary for the striker also, that they have the individual numbers with scoring or assists. So and that gives him confidence. The whole team gives then also confidence, and this is what we need also, and to work in our pressing, and it's good job, good development, and this is what we have to continue.
We'll go back to Mark.
You'd mentioned Sean Nealis. Can you be a little bit more specific about what he's dealing with?
Yeah, he had after the game. He had it was also after Miami game before Columbus. This trainings he had also some problems, and it's a little bit similar after the Cincinnati game. So it was today the first team training, but the load was not so high today, and he made yesterday an individual program, and on Tuesday as well.
Next, we'll go to Christian Ortiz on Zoom. Christian?
Christian, are you here?
We'll go to Voss next.
How's it going, Coach? Just wanted to ask you real quick on the leadership aspects of Sean Nealis and how important it is for him to lead that back line despite him having a changing partner throughout the start of the season.
Yeah, his whole preseason was very good. First of all, also his behavior and his how he leads the team at the beginning, and then we changed also the captain situation, and also his reaction was very good, and yeah, it doesn't change something in his behavior, and he feels also the responsibility off the field. And he showed the last games since the first game in Nashville, his quality as a center back, and his coaching, his communication, and also his passing. He improves a lot in some build-up situations, and it's good that he's in such a good spot.
We'll go back to Christian. Try again.
Oh, Christian.
Don't think Christian
you
is
have to pay your wifey.
Don't think Christian is
the
there.
connection is not so good.
I don't see any more hands, so we have time for one more question for Coach if anyone has one. Everyone good in the room?
Yeah,
Mark?
I mean, I'll just ask about your central defensive midfielders. Obviously, Peter Stroud has been
Yeah.
playing phenomenally. Danny Edelman, back from the Olympic team, seems to be having some challenge breaking in.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is the ideal set, right? You've got players competing for starting spots, but what's your thought on how best to use all three of these guys?
Yeah, this is and also direction of Danny was good in the whole training now yesterday and also on Tuesday. Not to lose the energy and to fight also for his position, and this is necessary, and it's good for the whole team, and not to lose the energy then with negative thoughts. I think it could be also sometimes happen. So after national break situation, and Pete played very well, Frankie Amaya very important for us. So yeah, we have to look on Saturday, and so which six position are playing, and but I repeat this is a long season, a lot of games, and then the next national break comes, and the weather change, the climate change, everything.
Yeah.
So, and we need all these players, especially Danny Edelman is very important for us.
Does his desire to make the Olympic team factor in to show well, so he gets a look at making that experience? Is that factoring in your decisions at all?
Yeah, also, and I think the Olympics is during the Leagues Cup. So we have to come to this period. So we have a lot of games until this period, and so we have also not to forget Ronnie Donkor,
right,
as a young player, and he makes also good steps in our training yesterday. Big win for the second team against New York City, the second team. That's good. It's good to see also all these young players that they improve with our head coach from Ibrahim, with our head coach from the second team.
We have time for one more question with Coach. Christian, I can see you're back now.
No,
we'll give it to Christian.
I hope you can hear me, Coach.
Yes, I can hear you now. Quick payment.
On make sure to make my payments for the next round. I just wanted to ask you, Coach, Wiki Carmona has started on the left. He has started on the right. Do we expect him to start next game? And just anything that you would like to share on his performance so far.
Wiki will start. For sure, he will start on Saturday because for me, he has everything. So in his package, he's physically good, and he's technical good in good spaces. He's also intelligent in our ball position behavior. So, but what he has to improve is to play very clean, especially in build-up situation, and to find the right moment. So when we are in the final third, then you can make with your passing more risk or with the dribbling. But it's a different space than, for example, when we have the build-up situation. This is what he has to improve. But for me, it's good, and with his skills and also in his shooting behavior and very good left foot. So good, very good development. And this is also a very young player. Not too much satisfied every day. So we have to continue to work hard that we can improve his individual development.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this afternoon's press conference with head coach Nick Cushing ahead of our game against New England Revolution. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. We'll get started in the room. Roberto?
Hi, Nick. The Revolution are coming off a really tough series with Club America. They got whacked 9-2 over 2 games. What did you see from them, and what are you expecting for the game on Saturday?
Well, we've obviously done our homework. We've done the scouting on them. We know that they're a team that's improving. Obviously, new coach in Caleb, and they're pretty similar at the moment to what I see last year in the sense of how they defend the game, the type of team that they are with the ball. They're very dangerous. Carlos Gil is of course the player that is most dangerous. He has individual moments. The 9 is Veroni is coming into form, scoring goals. Maybe they lost heavy against America, but he comes on and scores 2, which is positive for number 9. So they're definitely improving and growing as a team. I think they're dangerous at crossing the ball. You look at the data across the leagues, and they're up there in the top 3, 4 in their ability to cross the ball and create moments. So if we defend the game well, we'll give ourselves the best opportunity. But if we're open and we don't stop crosses and we give up moments similar to the moments we give up in Atlanta, it'd be more difficult.
With Monsef, I mean, he seems to be getting himself into really good positions to be able to score. He's had 10 shots over the last 2 games, I believe it is. What are you doing to try to get his confidence up where those shots now are on target and going into the net?
I think you got to focus on, I've said a lot about the process, right? If you come in, the same thing I say, but it's true. It's the same with Monsef. You have to believe in, the process of, Monsef is a far better player than he was when he came here. He came in the summer, his fitness levels, his physical output, the numbers that he puts in, the running numbers, whether it be on the press, whether it be running in behind, the way that he's built the game in, how intelligent he is in his link-up play and coming to the ball and adding an extra number in the midfield, is all the reason why his shots and his goal chances are improving, right? He's improved a lot in his game. He obviously wants to score more goals, and we want him to be the player that he is, developing into. But it's all part of the process. The only way that he becomes more clinical in front of goal is by continuing to put himself in the situation. And whether it's confidence, whether it's pressure, whatever we want to label it as, he is coming into a lot of goal chances. His expected goals is up there with the top 5 strikers in the league. This is an incredible place to be. So we all believe in him. He's going to be really exciting and continue to be an exciting player for New York. And we're going to continue to put him in the place where he's going to have the opportunity to score goals.
Thank you.
Alex? Hey, Alex here with The Exchange. I got a question because you guys are playing in New England this weekend, and obviously they're currently bottom of the Eastern Conference. And the last 2 matches, you guys only scored 1 goal. How differently offensively are you guys going to go into this game? Obviously, with the amount of chances you guys have with Atlanta, what's going to be different about this?
Yeah, I think you got to keep putting yourself in the situation, right? I think, whether it's, whether we change the team and change the wingers, whether we roll with the same team, the offensive side of our game against Atlanta was by far the best we've produced in the last 12 months, 16 months, in the amount of goal chances we created, in how we get to the opportunities. We've got to continue to work and continue to focus and concentrate at executing the outcome. But the one thing I say to the team is, progress is at times difficult. I've said before, hard times create top teams, and we are definitely progressing. We are definitely improving, and you got to continue to believe and work and concentrate and focus on executing the outcomes. Munsef, Santi, Julian, Agu, our fullback's high. There's many, many positives of how we create the chances. You just got to continue to focus on executing.
Anyone on Zoom? Any more questions?
I'll take one more. It's okay.
Alex, go ahead.
Hey, Esteban. Awesome.
Go ahead, Alex.
Hey, so it's Alex here again with the exchange. I got another question. So obviously being a coach here, assistant coach for 2 years, from 2020 to 2022, and then being the head coach here from 2022 onwards now, you obviously saw a lot of players develop and improve. A player like Christian, obviously, he's a young guy. He's getting linked to obviously a big club. How much have you seen him improve over the last couple of years as a coach?
Yeah, incredible levels. I think Christian's best attribute is his work ethic and his focus, which ultimately your potential is only potential, right? You have to go and work at it, and you have to take the ups and the downs, and you have to continue to improve the areas of your game that you want to be better at. And we've seen that through his academy life into MLS2 now with the first team week in, week out. The challenge that he has every day against the level of wingers that we have is only going to make him a better player. And some days he feels like he has a tough one, and some days he feels like he's achieved a lot. It's the process. You got to keep working at it. And when you're on the journey, you have to continue to embrace the ups and the downs and get in the video room and get out with the individual sessions and go into the team sessions. Christian McFarland is a huge potential for our football club, and one that we really enjoy.
Thank you so much.
Trey?
Hey, sorry about that. I forgot how to raise my hand in Zoom. Apologies. Thanks for the time, Coach. Just want to know if there's an update on Talis Magno's injury, as well as Jovan Mijatović's situation as well. And then after that, if you can comment on a player of yours, a former player that went viral this past week, Megan Campbell, for quite a long throw, and if that's something you'd be interested in trying in one of our smaller stadiums here.
So Tales is still with the physios. He's working individually, but he's out on the grass. He's working incredibly hard. He is getting closer. There is no real update in the sense of when, because we're working through the process, and his injury is around the reaction to upping the load and to improving and going to the next levels within the rehab. But he's definitely moving along that, and it's really positive, and he's making progress. He's not yet with the team. Jovan is going through the visa process, and one that, of course, is frustrating, but at the same time is what it is. You have to go through that process. It's a process outside of our control, and it's one that the front office are doing an incredible job in trying to expedite and accelerate. So we hope we'll have an update early this week. We hope that it's something that is going to happen quickly, but it's ultimately with the relevant people. I actually spoke to Meg this morning because I actually seen, it was my wife. I'm not on social media, but my wife showed me the viral clips that were going on from her throw-in. She's a great player. First and foremost, I think Megan's throw-in, the worst part of her throw-in is she's actually a really, really good football player and adds huge value wherever she plays. She played for me at central defender and at left back, but her throw-in is very unique. It is an incredible weapon to have if you have it, because it's not just a long throw, it's actually an incredibly long throw, and she has great technique with it. So wherever she is, she's going to cause problems. We don't have a throw that big. We do have Jovan Mijatović that has a long throw. Whether we use it or not, we'll see in the future.
And we are here back, the 11 post-game at Red Bull Arena. I don't think neither one of us were anywhere near what we thought this game would be. Well, kind of partially. You were kind of partial to it, which is the Andres Reyes red card, which really kind of threw this game for a loop. All things considered, though, probably not half bad when you think about it. I don't know.
I guess half bad's okay way of putting it. When you should have been up 7-0 at the end of the first half. But
Yeah, lots of missed chances in that first half. Don't worry, that's just stuff going by right next to us. It is a live hallway. Again, there were a lot of chances. Emil Forsberg missed some really good ones. Morgan missed a few. But at the end of the day, really that red card changed everything, and the substitutions as well. We were sitting next to each other, and I'm thinking to myself, why Dante coming off the field? Why not leave your striker and pull off, Wiki or someone like that? It just seemed very odd.
you ready for it? Play the tape of Sandro's answer, please.
Oh boy, I was not in that press conference, so. All right. So yeah.
Apparently Emil Forsberg was Mr. Wonderful, doing great things. Wiki Carmona was a fabulous player, according to Sandro. He did nothing wrong. Just doing very, very well. That's why Dante came off.
Well, okay. Then that's. What am I going to say about that? Right at that point, it kind of is what it is. So it ends up being a goalless draw at Red Bull Arena. I mean, there's not much else we can say about that one. Across the river, though.
Thanks, Andre Reyes.
Yeah, across the river, NYCFC wins 2-0 at Yankee Stadium. Goals from Mojeda, his first ever MLS goal, and Julian Fernandez in the 93rd minute gets that one as well.
Congrats, you got their names right this time.
I did get them right this time. But at the same time, it was. I mean, it's a result that I think we expected them to have, but we're unsure if they were going to be able to get it. Big one moves them up to 12th place at the moment. There's still some games I think, to be decided. But they are 2 points out of a playoff spot, which is good for them.
It was a lot closer that game. I said, 3-1, 2-0? A lot closer.
Yeah.
Yep. But it was a better game out of New York City FC. They came, they did what they had to, unlike the team that we all thought was going to perform today.
They are still tied. Red Bulls are still tied for first place.
Oh, yes.
At the last I left it, Inter Miami did score, so it is 3-2, which is why they are tied. Miami will be in first place due to goal difference, but they also have played one more game than this Red Bull team has played at this point.
Yeah, it's not over for the Red Bull. They still got plenty of room. Hopefully this is the last of the prove me wrongs with Andre Reyes this season. Hopefully we just see Sean Nealis and Noah throughout. Hopefully Sean's injury is not that bad to where he can't start anymore. It's pretty obvious at this point. Andre Reyes is not a starting center back in MLS anymore.
Yeah, and we will have some more updates on Peter Stroud when we do. We do know that it looked very bad. So I'm, not a lot of hope on seeing him again this season, unfortunately, but we'll get the specifics on that as soon as we can later this week as well.
Yeah, Sandro did say that he does have an appointment tomorrow, but things do not look good at all.
Yeah, and, again, you can just watch back the video and see that one. All right, another episode of the 11 here. We'll be back next week at Yankee Stadium, as this team will be on the road at LAFC. So we will be at Yankee Stadium for NYCFC and DC United, talking more about both New York Red Bulls and NYCFC.
See you next week.
Take care.